Today we're talking to Harry Wheeler at a very chilly Clarence Park, and also a very chilly outcome as well. Another defeat, Harry, 1-0. First half, we had some chances there, we had a better to play. Second half, we didn't see an awful lot of us.
Compared to last week, it's a million miles better second half. But it's not enough, obviously. I can't fault the players' effort in terms of work rate and desire, and today, and they did keep their shape after the 1-0 and they didn't go, so there's improvements, but improvements... Someone said to me, "Oh, it can't change overnight." Well, it has to change overnight. It has to, because that's the position we're in. I put a thing on it that would need to win 8 out of 17 to stay up. So now we need to win 8 out of 16. So you've got to win half, and that's more than they've won all season. But they've got to believe. And there was improvements. I think the new lads made a difference in certain ways. Not on the outcome in the end, but they made a difference. And maybe next week they will do. But it's an individual error for the goal. They didn't create the goal. So apart from that, Welshie didn't have massively loads to do overall, so it's disappointing.
First half was our better half, and not getting a goal up there, that must have been frustrating for you.
Yeah, you could be 2 or 3 ahead, and you've got to take your chances. They got one gift and they took it, and that's why they are where they are, and that's why we are where we are. And it's so frustrating, because it's just an individual error. It wasn't anything to do with what we worked on. It wasn't anything to do with the mental state this time. It was just an indecision, and you get punished. And when you're down there, you get punished for it. And unfortunately, it's put us where it is. I thought second half. I thought it was bits and bobs either way. They had pressure for quite a bit. We had a few bits still, and Jack Green still had a chance, and Michael had a chance, and there were still chances in it. Second half even, but. Chances if they're not put away don't mean anything, do they?
3 new faces today, and 1 player making his home debut. That's a lot of changes.
Yeah, well, there needs to be a lot. There would have been 2 more as well, but they fell through in the week. Would they have made the difference? Maybe. Would they have not? You don't know. You can't say. I mean, as I said, I'm not faulting the players that played in, and their effort was there, their endeavour was there. They listened to what we wanted to do. And it worked in terms of performance, but it didn't work in terms of result. The 3 that come in, just men, characters, do their job, they're solid, and then 3 I thought had very good games.
You mentioned 2 more possibly coming in this week. I didn't. You're looking to strengthen again in the week coming up, no doubt. If
you can strengthen, you strengthen, yeah. As I said, there's pressure on people's places. There's been a few changes, and some people that always regularly start maybe didn't, and everyone's playing for places. And once the wins come, then you'd see a more regular side. But until then, it gives you no choice. We've just got to keep going with it, and we'll assess it and see what we have to do for next week in terms of team selection wise, and if something comes in, and if not, what we got there, and we have to go there and win. And we said it last week, but we've got to go again.
Lee Chappell, first time he's been dropped in his time at the club. Did he take it well?
Yeah, he did. Lee's a mature character in terms of off the pitch and his attitude, and he was fine. He was from the side, sitting in the dugout, he was encouraging them all, and he kept going and warming up. He was ready. There was no issue with that at all, and I didn't expect any issue with Lee. Some people you think, he might. I didn't expect an issue. He just said, I sat him in the office. He said, no, I respect the decision. He said, hopefully we go and win, and that was on his mind as well. And that's what you need. You need players that, if they're not starting, that they're still hoping you win and hoping you get something. Yeah, no, he was fine with it. There was just a few changes needed for the game, that was all.
James Comley not in the side today. I think you've got some news on him.
Well, James had a slight knock originally, and then James is obviously with the changes. As I said, we've got bigger book players in the squads to make decisions, and he just missed out. You miss out on the squad. It's not personal, it's not anything, it's just a business, and maybe it just needed a freshen up. So James missed out, but he just didn't make the 16. He was fit to play, he just didn't make the 16, and we have to make decisions at times, and I thought the lads that came in had done well.
A word going round the ground at the end of the game is Comley's on his way off to Sweden.
Who knows? Potentially, I don't know. I haven't known anything if it's confirmed or not confirmed. It wasn't yesterday. I haven't spoke to anyone today, so I can't really comment right now. But we'll find out in time. We'll probably all find out at the same time, to be honest.
I saw you in conversation with Jonathan Edwards at the start of the afternoon. What was that about?
again, just like Combs, he just missed out on that 11. We had new forward in, and as a lone player, we've also got to look at the lads who are coming in that are signing permanently are here for the duration, and it's just literally, it's nothing personal. The new lad played, and it's just fitting people in the squad, and he just missed out not because of performances, it's just because of numbers, and permanent players come in, and so there's no point bringing someone in if you're not going to start them and not going to get them involved. And then obviously the regulars that didn't start have gone to the bench, so it's just a follow-on really.
New formation as well today, 4-3-3.
Yeah.
How did it work?
Well, it created chances. We got opportunities from it. Should have got goals from it. I thought the front three are quite strong. Michael hasn't played for a while. Played 60 the other week, but apart from that, hasn't played for a while. And when Michael's fit, he'll be flying and be important for us. Thought Theo played well, especially first half. Had a few, it was dangerous. He still worked hard second half, and Charlie just works and works and works. So, the shape I think caused problems, and defensively I thought the two holding in it done well. Swept up, get the things, but look, it wasn't the worst performance all season by any stretch at all. But again, the result is the outcome is similar, and the outcome needs to change.
How's that going to change looking ahead to next week's game, which is another tough match?
Well, if I look at myself this week, could I do any more? I don't think so. The earliest I got in was 11 o'clock. We did constantly on the phone, constantly trying to sort things out, constantly with the players. We had 8 pieces of paper up there on them, everything they do. Players to look out for, players not to look out for, players, they're dangerous players we can, get around, free kicks, what kind of free kicks they take, penalties, corners, set piece, everything. So all the thing was there for them, all the training was there, and and they did take it on board and they nullified most of it, but an individual error, when you're down the bottom and when your luck's not your way, you'll get punished for it, and unfortunately that's what it did. So because it was an individual error that beat us, when is that going to change? Well, if no one makes their mistakes, then it changes next week. If they do make individual errors, then it won't change. But it'll be down to the individuals next week.
I think it's the third game running, Harry. You mentioned how the details you're given to the players on the opposition. I just wonder if it was a bit like the old Don Revie syndrome. I know it's before your time. He packed so much into his dossiers about the opposition, it didn't play to his own team's strengths, possibly.
I think we more do it. I think when we went forward, we obviously play in two various formations, so it's not where we played all 4-3-3 isn't defensive, so we're not worried about them where we just sit and playing 4-5-1 and all because we're so worried. We give them as much, but we did talk about our own game. It's up there. I don't go to players, you need to read all of that. If you want to read it because you think, what, for me I want to see that bit, fine. If you don't, it's there for you, and whatever makes you tick, we try and do. There is this thing about maybe not be so cagey and just go and be brave and just go and attack them and do that, but it could go either way. If it works, everyone will say brilliant. If it ends up being a big scoreline, then people go, well, you should have sat in, you should have done your homework. So bits and bobs, but yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but I think did it affect our performance, their information? No. Again, it's an individual error. That's nothing to do with we didn't put on the board that that's what he's planned. Benny wasn't planning to do that, and the lad who scored it we knew about, and we knew about his in behind, and after about 10 minutes we dealt with that, and that's part of that information. So there's pros and cons to it.
Back in December when we lost to Stortford, you said we need to win the next 2 games, which was 2 home games. In fact, we've now got 3 points from 7 games. How's this affecting you personally?
Because I care about the club a lot. I don't feel pressure-wise in terms of it doesn't change my mindset, but at the same time, it's keep working. I believe you work hard. In the end, it will come, and if it's going to come, it needs to come now. If it's true that if you work hard, you get there in the end, then we should be getting there, because I haven't stopped since we come in, and I won't stop. And we need to leave at the end of the season knowing that there was nothing more we could give. Whether the outcome comes into us staying up, we'll have to see. But as I said, you've got to win 8 out of 16 now, and that's half, and it's got to be a good run, especially with the fixtures we've got coming up. If they believe we can go and beat them, some of them sides will turn over. If they don't, then they are where they are, and we're going to have to rectify that very quickly.
Lovely, thanks so much, Harry. The next game then for the Saints is next Saturday, the 6th of February, away to Dartford. Kick-off at Prince's Park, National League South is at 3 p.m.